now let's try this for the third time. All right, so we got our poof done. If anybody shows, anybody shows. We're going to take, we got our 10-inch poof right here. We're going to add in these 15-inch deco mesh ruffles, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. Let me get my mesh over here. Okay. So the deco mesh, because it has these white ones pieces running across, I'm going to tuck it under just a little bit in case it wants to start fraying. Okay. All right. So we're just going to ruffle it up. We're going to stick this down into the tie. We're going to place it right down on top of that tie. All right. We're just going to fan out our ruffle. Just like that. So we're just adding a little bit of color. Hey guys. We're going to go ahead and finish this wreath on YouTube. I guess Facebook doesn't want to play nice as usual. So I cut these at 15 inches. And I'm just making a small ruffle. We're going to add some color to this wreath. And I'm placing it straight down on top of that tie. Okay. Just like that. We're still going to be able to see that purple through this mesh. So I'm tucking the ends under in case the white that runs across it wants to start fraying, because it will eventually start fraying. So I'm tucking them under for when it does start fraying, it's not going to be as noticeable. Okay. I love working with this stuff, but it does fray after a while. So I don't want my customer to have this on their door, and when it does start fraying, it just really starts looking bad. Okay. So I cut 18 of these, one for each tie. We're going to put them throughout the whole wreath. I thought about doing just on the bottom, but I was like, nah, we'll go ahead and put it throughout. All right, so I'm putting them in and I'm opening. I'm trying to fan them out a little bit, because whenever you do a poof, you're automatically going to have some little holes in between your poof. So when you fan out your ruffle like this, it starts to cover up any kind of holes that you have. So that's the good thing about adding a ruffle, is it will start covering up any kind of hole that you have. All right. Maybe I should just start doing YouTube lives instead of trying to fight Facebook all the time. I don't know. We got to figure something out. All right. So these ruffles are just adding just a little bit of color. And because they're a check mesh, we'll still be able to see that beautiful purple in the background. I can't get this project done on Facebook. There's nothing wrong with hopping over to YouTube. I need to get more videos on my YouTube channel anyway. I think right now I only have like 6 or 7, something like that. All right, so we're almost done with the bottom. We got a few more to put on the bottom. And then we'll hop up to the top. Okay, so you see guys how this is already falling apart right here? So that's what it's going to do after a while. It's going to start coming apart like that white that runs across. So that's why I'm tucking the edges under. That's just the nature of this mesh, because it is a check. It's going to start doing that. No matter how careful you are when you cut it, it's still going to do that. All right, this is our last one for the bottom. We're going to jump up to the top and we're going to do the 8 ties on the top. Okay. At least if I'm on here on YouTube, I don't have to talk as much. I won't be talking. I mean, I won't be coughing as much if I'm not talking. I just have the worst luck on my lives. I don't know why, but I do. Doesn't help that my internet is just bad. All right. I think we got 4 more pieces. Hey, Kenyatta. I hope I pronounced that correctly. All right. Okay. So just take your mesh and just tuck it under maybe like a 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch. We want these ruffles to be on the smaller side anyway. All right, we got 2 more pieces. We'll be done with the mesh part and we can start adding our ribbon tails. All right, last piece. All right, put this one down. We'll start adding our ribbon tails. right, so there is our wreath, our mesh, and you see how you can still see all of that purple under there? I didn't want to completely cover it up. That's why I wanted a smaller ruffle. Okay, all right. So let's get out our ribbon tails. So we have, for one set, we're going to use this orange and black rickrack. We have a purple canvas with some little ghosts on it, and then we have lime green. Okay, so that's going to be one set. And then our other set is going to be this one, which has orange, purple, and black in it with the orange ghost and then the lime green. Okay, so we're going to alternate we're going to alternate the sets as we go around. Okay, so we're going to do the bottom ones first. Then we're going to take our extra ones, because I did cut extra ones, and we're going to put them off to the side. Then we're going to add our sign. We'll make a bow, and then we'll take our extra ones that we have and we'll fill in wherever we need to on the top. Okay, so let's go ahead and start doing these on the bottom. So I cut these two are 2.5 inches, obviously, and this one is a 1.5 inch, and I cut them at 12 inches. Okay, so they're all cut at 12. All right, so we're just going to fold them over, find the middle, just curl them down just a little bit like this, and we'll add them into a tie. Okay, and then we're just going to fan them out. All right, so that's one set, and then we're going to go back and we're going to put a different set in the next tie. So we have the green in both sets, but we're alternating the 2.5 inches. And I'm not opening my tie, guys. I'm just placing it straight down on that tie. All right. Let me see. Okay, put this one on top. All right. We're just going to keep putting these in here all the way around. Just fan them out as you get them on here. And the reason that I'm adding this green into every tie is because I want to bring out the green that's on our sign. So the face of our witch that's on our sign is green. So I wanted to add this green into every tie to bring that out. I really wanted to bring that out in the sign. Let's see. All right, let's put the purple on top. So not only am I alternating the sets, but I'm alternating which 2.5 inch is on top, or maybe not on top, but in the middle on each set. Because I want to be able to see all of the ribbons. And sometimes the ones that are on the bottom, they kind of get lost in the shuffle. Okay. A few of y'all followed me over here. I guess everybody just got completely frustrated with me, and I don't blame them. I would have been frustrated too. All right, we got a couple of more sets for the bottom, and then we'll take our extra ones, move them off to the side, and we'll put our sign on. And I'll show you guys that might have missed it on Facebook what the sign looks like. It's a really cute sign. All right, last set on the bottom. All right, let me take these extra ones. We're gonna move them out of the way. Okay, so there are our ribbon tails all the way around. That's so cute. Okay, so let me show you guys that might have missed it on Facebook. This is our sign. Okay, so you can see it has this lime green in here for the face. So that's why I wanted to add the lime green to each of the sets of the ribbon tails. Okay, so the sign came from Personalize It by Pam. She's on Etsy. You can see her little sticker back here. So there's no holes in here. Okay, so I'm going to punch my own holes. If you do not have a beadsmith, they sell them at Hobby Lobby. They sell them at Michael's. They sell them on Amazon. And basically, it is a tool that's made for jewelry making. But it's got a little tip on here. And you can use it to punch holes in sheet metal. Okay, so I'm going to punch a hole on the bottom tip, on the top tip, and then I'm going to punch one I don't know, maybe I should do the inside. I think I'm gonna punch one on the inside. Okay. So I'm gonna punch 3 holes in it because I want to make sure I can get this real secure. So you just take it and you just punch it through that sheet metal. It's basically like a hole punch for paper, but you can use this on sheet metal. Thin sheet metal. You don't want to get anything real thick because I don't think it would go through. Okay. And I'm going to punch one right here in the middle. So that way I have some holes to put my wire through. Okay. So let me get my wire. I'm going to get 3 pieces. And I want them, you know, a little bit on the longer side. I want to make sure that they reach down to the base of the wreath. That way we can tie it onto, and it's okay if you have extra wire, but it's really not okay if you don't have enough to get all the way down. That becomes a problem. All right, so I cut 3 pieces, and this is just 26 gauge wire. It's very thin. I usually buy mine at Hobby Lobby. I think it's like $2.50 for a little spool. Might be less than that. Okay, so I'm just going to take it. I'm going to put it through my little hole right here. And then I'm just going to twist my sign to get it tight. Okay, so that's 1 piece. I'm going to do the same thing right here. Just going to get it even. I'm going to bring it around to the back, and I'm going to twist this wire. All right, we got 1 more piece up here at the top. And that hole that I punched is not very big at all. I mean, it's tiny. It's not like this huge hole that you put in there. So it's not going to be a hole. It's not going to be very noticeable. And if you didn't want to punch holes in your sign, or you didn't have a beadsmith, you could always use cable mounts. So let me show you guys what that looks like. I buy mine at Home Depot, but I know they sell them at Lowe's also, and I know they sell them on Amazon. So it's just a little square, and it has a raised top on it where you can slip wire through it, and it has a sticky back on the back. But I usually put super glue also. I don't just go by the sticky back, because if you live somewhere where it's really, really hot, it'll probably fall off. So I use like this industrial type super glue, and I'll put it on the back also, just to be on the safe side, because the last thing you want to do is get your wreath to a customer and their sign fell off. That would not be good. Okay, so like I said, I buy mine at Home Depot, but they have them at Lowe's. They sell them on Amazon, and they're located in Lowe's and Home Depot, wherever the zip ties are, because that's what they're called. They're called zip tie cable mounts. Okay, so let's go ahead and attach this sign. I'm just going to take my ruffles and I'm going to move them to the side. I'm going to find me a little hole in between my poofs. And I'm going to take this wire, I'm going to pull it down to the base. We're going to tie it onto the base. All right. Okay, so that's our top. I might end up having to punch one over here on the outside too, if it looks like it wants to start leaning too much to the middle. All right, I'm going to do the same thing for our bottom. I'm going to take it, push this down into the mesh. Tie it onto the base. All right. I'm going to take my middle piece now. Stick it in between one of those poofs. Bring it down to my base and tie it on. Well, if I can get it to tie. There we go. Okay. So it doesn't look like it's leaning. So I don't think I'm going to need to add a piece over here on the outside. But if I end up having to do it, I'll just take my beadsmith and I'll cut one more hole right here. And I'll do the same exact thing that I did right here. And I'll just tie it down to the base. But it doesn't look like it's leaning too bad. Okay, so now we're going to move this out of the way. We're going to get my bow maker out. And we're going to make us a bow, okay? So the sign is long. It's not wide, but it's long. So we're going to make a bow that has long, flowy tails, okay? So this, it's a beautiful bow. It's one of my favorites to make. Okay, so let's start with the orange ghost, okay? So like I said, guys, I want to make my tails long. So I think I'm going to go with 12 inches for my tails, okay? So you'll measure out 12 inches. We're going to pinch it. We're going to twist it. We're going to place it down in the bow maker, okay? So let's start with, we got 8 ribbons. So let's start at 6.5 for our first loop, okay? So we're going to pinch it. We're going to twist it again. Check our measurement. We'll measure out 6.5 on the other side. Pinch it. Place it down into the bow maker. We do not have to twist. This is only 2 loops per ribbon. And then we'll measure out we'll measure out our tail with the one that's already on here. Okay? It doesn't have to be perfect. All right, let's dovetail it. All right. Ribbon number 1. So we're going to have eight different ribbons on this bow. We're going to have 4 2.5. We're going to have 4 1.5. All right, so I'm gonna do the black and orange next. So we'll measure out our tail with the one that's on here. We'll pinch it, twist it. We're going to go down to 6 now. We're going to go down 1/2 inch every time we add a ribbon. Okay. So we'll measure out 6. We'll pinch it, twist it. Okay. Let's do 6 on the other side. Second loop, we don't have to twist. All right, measure out our tail. Okay. All right, that's ribbon number 2. We're going to go with the purple ghost next. Okay, let's measure out our tail. We're going to pinch it, twist it, place it down in there. We're going to go down to 5.5 inches this time. So let's measure out 5.5. We'll pinch it, twist it. All right. 5.5 on the other side. Pinch it. No twisting. Just place it straight down in there. Measure out your tail. All right. So I have a little piece of a roll over here. I don't know if it's going to be long enough, but we'll try it. If it's not long enough, then we'll take it off and we'll open up a new roll. We might get lucky, we might not. All right, let's see if this one is going to be long enough. Okay, so let's measure out our tail. We'll pinch it, give it that half twist. Okay, we're going to go down to 6.5, 6, 5. Okay, we're going to go down to 5 inches now. So we'll measure out 5. We'll pinch it. And give it that half twist. It's not going to be long enough. Well, this one will just have a short tail. Yeah. No, I'm gonna use the ribbon. I'm gonna break out a new one. I really like this ribbon, so I don't want it to have a short tail. I want to be able to see it. All right. Okay, so let's measure out our tail, pinch it, twist it, 5 inches. So on this bow, all of our tails are going to come down. As you can see, they're all coming down. So that just makes it easier for us to, that's just one less thing that we need to worry about with our bow, okay? All right, we'll give it that half twist. We'll do 5 inches on this side, and then bring your tail down. All right, that one's already dovetailed. Okay, so that's it for our 2.5 inches. Now we're going to move on to our 1.5. So these are the ones that I chose for our 1.5 inch. So we have the lime green that we had for our tails. And then I have a harlequin, black and orange. I have a plaid that has purple, green, and black. And then a jack-o'-lantern. Okay. So let's add these. All right, I'm going to do my jack-o'-lantern first. And we're still doing the same thing. We're still going to measure out our tail. And we're going to go down 1/2 inch every time. Okay, so this one was at 6.5, 6, 5.5, 5. Okay, so now we're at 4.5. So as you see, I'm putting my ribbon first, and then I'm giving it that half twist. And you're going to get the same exact result. Whether you twist it before you put it in or you twist it after, it doesn't matter which one you do. You're still going to get the same result. Okay? I just want to let you guys know that, that it doesn't matter if you twist it before you put it in or after you put it in. As long as you got that twist in there, that's all that matters. Okay, because if you don't twist, then the back side of your ribbon is going to be facing up. So that's why you have to give it that twist. All right, so that one's done. Let's do the purple plaid, purple, black, and green plaid next. Okay. Measure out our tail. We'll pinch it, twist it, stick it down in there. We're going to go down to 4 inches. I keep losing count. All right, we're going down to 4 inches. All right, so we'll measure out 4. We'll give it that half twist. We'll measure out 4 on this side. And we don't have to twist on the second loop. We just place it straight down in there. All right, that one's dovetailed. All right, so now we're going to move on to the black and orange harlequin. And then we're going to put that lime green on top. All right, so measure out your tail, pinch it, twist it. We're going down to 3.5. So stick your ribbon in there, give it that half twist, get the back side of your ribbon up, and then bring the top side of your ribbon back over. All right. Okay. Now we got our last ribbon, which is our lime green. All right, let me dovetail this. Okay, so we'll pinch it, twist it, stick it down in between the pegs. This loop is going to be only 3 inches. So we'll measure out 3. We'll give it that twist. We'll do 3 on the other side. All right. And that's it, guys. That is our bow. A lot of ribbon on there. Okay, so let me get out a long zip tie because I'm pretty sure my 8 inch isn't going to work because there's a lot of ribbon on here. All right. So we're going to take our zip tie. We're going to lift up one side of our loops and our tails, and we're going to slide it right up against those pegs. All right, we're going to get it started. We can pull it off now. So let's move this over to the middle and then very carefully slide it around to the back. You don't want to get in a hurry and doing that real fast because it might knock all of your stacks over. All right, let's tighten it a little bit more. I'm going to get us a piece of wire so we can have this, have something to attach it to the roof frame. Right? And you can use a pipe cleaner for this if you wanted to. That would work. The only thing I will say about a pipe cleaner is if you happen to put your bow somewhere where there's not a hole, it's going to be very difficult to get that pipe cleaner through your mesh, which is why I don't use a pipe cleaner anymore. All right. So all of our tails are going to come down. Like I said at the beginning, I'm going to get us a piece of ribbon to stick around the zip tie. So I'm going to get about a 9 or 10 inch piece of the 1.5 inch. It doesn't matter what color it is. It doesn't have to be the same color as the top loop. If you wanted to use one of the other ones, that would be fine. So I'm going to fold it over 3 times and get it real thin like this. We're going to wrap it around that zip tie. That way nobody sees that zip tie. So just take it and run it right on top of that zip tie and just tie it one time, because once we tighten up the zip tie, we're going to have to tighten up this piece of ribbon also. But let's go ahead and work on our bow. So all of our tails are going to come down, so we don't have to worry about that. So just bring them all down to the bottom. Now we're going to work on our loops, okay? So we're just going to crisscross them. We're going to make an X with our loops, okay? So we have the rickrack and the ghost up here, and then we have the rickrack and the ghost at the bottom, and they're opposite of what they are up here, okay? And then we're going to take our other two 2.5 inch ribbons, and we're going to put them in between those first two. I don't want the ghosts right next to each other, so I'm going to separate those. Okay, so we'll do the same thing on the other side. We'll just take those 2.5 inches and we'll separate them in between those. All right, so now you can see all of your loops. All right, so let's do the same thing with our 1.5 inch. Okay, so I'm going to, and then I'm going to, okay, so we got all of our loops, all of where we need them to be. Now we can turn this over and tighten everything up. So just take your zip tie and tighten it all the way. And then take that little piece of ribbon that you put on here. And then I usually take it and I make me another knot with it. I usually double knot it. Just like that. Okay. So now we have all of our tails at the bottom. We got our loops where we need them. So let's go ahead and fluff out this bow, and we'll put it on our wreath. Just stick your fingers inside every loop and just spread your fingers apart. That's all there is to fluffing up a bow. All right, so we got that part done. You see how you can see all of our loops because we positioned them where they're not sitting on top of each other. Okay, so now we're going to take our ribbon tails and we're going to curl those a little bit too. Okay, so we're just going to take them and we're going to run them through our fingers like this, just like this. We're going to do every piece of ribbon. Doesn't take a whole lot. You don't want to pull on it a lot. Just run it through your fingers and curl those ribbons a little bit. And because we have these long flowy tails on here, it's really going to give a lot of body to our bow instead of just laying there all flat and sad. Make sure you get your 2.5 inches also. Okay, so there we go. There's our bow. It's a pretty bow. Nothing fancy, but it does the job. Okay, you got all your nice flowy tails down there. All right, so let me cut off my zip tie back here, and we'll go ahead and put this on the wreath, and then we'll bring back those ribbon tails, those extra ribbon tails, and we'll put those wherever we have some blank spots. Okay, so I want the top of the bow to be the same height as our sign. Okay, so you can just lay it down on here and figure out where that needs to be. So you can see that the top of the bow is right there where the top of the sign is, okay? So I'm just going to take this wire and I'm going to push it down through my mesh to the base. And then we'll tie it on. Thank you, Sandra. All right. Okay, so we have, you know, a blank spot right here. And I want to add some ribbon tails over here on the outside of the sign. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's bring back our ribbon tails. Okay. So we're just going to take these extra ribbon tails that I cut, and we're just going to add them wherever there's a blank spot. Okay. And that's usually what I do, because if I would have added them all over the top before I put my sign in my bow, it would be covering a lot of those ribbon tails. So to me, in my opinion, that's just a waste of ribbon, I think. I mean, if you're not able to see it, then, you know, what is the purpose of putting it on? That's just me. A lot of people don't see it that way. All right, let me add a set down here on the bottom. And then we'll add a couple of sets coming out the side of that sign. And then we'll be done, guys. I really wanted to do this on Facebook, but just wasn't meant to be. Okay. So let's take a set. Put it right here. There's a tie right here under this sign, but I'm going to position these tails to where they're coming out of this in back of the sign. All right, let's take our last set and do the same thing right above it. All right, I think I'm going to cut one more and put it down here at the bottom. I have one piece right here, and I don't know why I have an extra piece, but I do. So let me cut a green and an orange ghost. It looks like it's not even without that last set. And we'll be done. And I'll pick up the camera and I'll show you guys what this looks like from the front. So let me pick up the camera all the way. Hey. And that is, so there we go. You can see the lime green pops out with our ribbon tails, and that's the way I wanted to do it. Wyona 68, a lot of times I do, yes. A lot of times I do put 3 ribbon tails per tie. That's just something that I started doing a while back, and I just stuck with it. But yeah, that's our project for today, guys. I really wish we would have been able to do this on Facebook, but Facebook didn't cooperate. But I appreciate y'all coming in and hopping on with me. I was going to make this regardless, but it's always fun. It's always a lot more fun when a couple of people hop on. But yeah, that's it. That's our project. So thank you guys that came and followed me over here. I appreciate it. And I'll let you guys go. And thank you. Thank you for showing. And I'll see you guys on the next live. Bye, everybody.